Good morning, Cathedral, and welcome back to another episode of Views from the Hill, the weekly podcast where we interview students, staff, alumni, and administration. I'm Seth Menser, joined by Jeff Udsinger, and a new host, Noah Kaplan. Welcome to the show, Noah. We're excited to welcome our first student of the year, Reese Sanders. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Reese is the class president for the class 2022. She's also a member of the cross-country team and the track and field team. Reese, how long have you been the class president of 2022?
This year or just like in general? Like
4 years.
Oh, this is my second year, so 2 years of presidency.
You like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I honestly, when I was a freshman, I never thought I would be the class president just because I was so shy. But it definitely has helped me get out of my shell a little bit more, and then hanging out with more people that I probably wouldn't have.
So, Reese, why did you choose to get involved with being the class president?
Honestly, my mom kind of nudged me to do it. I honestly did not really want to, but I thought I was kind of tired of losing, like all the little assembly things and such. I'm a competitive person, so I couldn't just sit back and watch that all go down. So I knew I could do something about it, and that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, I think we all need to give your mom a big thank you because we've won a lot of battles since you've been president. So
Yeah, so what was the idea behind the last lip sync, the One Direction? What was the idea behind that?
So from last year, I remember Mrs. Blamey, because she was the teacher that like was in charge of the junior class officers. I remember her saying like cross-dressing was like the judges loved cross-dressing for some reason, that it was just funny. And so we thought we were just I had like a meeting at my house one Sunday, and it was actually Lauren Gallagher who came up with the idea of like, okay, maybe what if we did like a boy band, because like if the girls were the boys and the boys were like the fangirls, that's kind of like not overstepping anything, but like kind of made it funny. And so then we kind of looked up the songs. We're like, okay, why are these songs low-key like kind of fun and loud and not fun to dance to, I guess. And so we just kind of rolled with it. And all of it was pretty last minute, I'm not going to lie, but it all worked out fairly well.
yeah, I love how you got all of us involved too and made us the mosh pit or the fans.
I thought that would be a good idea because you guys didn't really have to do anything. You just had to show up and be there. There was no practice. I knew that was going to be good to not have to make anyone do extra work.
Yeah, you definitely made it pretty easy for us. Now we all know you're a class president. What else are you involved in here at Cathedral?
I am a runner, so I ran on cross country, as you said. I was on the cross country team and the track team. I did cheerleading my freshman through junior year, and then so this year I decided not to do it. I don't know, a big sports side. So.
Oh, so with your track, you're also a cheerleader. Why would you give up cheerleading to join the cross-country team?
I did because I knew, what was it? So I decided to do cross-country because since sophomore year I didn't have track. I was just so excited to like run again, so I never thought I would do cross-country. But I had done like a lot of long runs just for fun and actually been pretty good at them. So I decided to do cross-country and ended up making it all the way to semi-state, which was pretty impressive for like a first-year cross-country runner. And then the second year, I honestly really, really enjoyed cross-country, so it was kind of like cheer was kind of just like my second hand. And then I knew I wanted to do it in college, so I was like, I want to get really serious. So that's kind of why I decided to drop cheer and go for the cross-country.
Yeah, I mean, for all who's listening, I'm pretty sure we all know how big of a track star Reese is. Yeah. She's committed to Notre Dame. Her top five consisted of basically the top five track schools in the nation, right. UCLA, Colorado, if I'm correct, Duke, and North Carolina, and you chose Notre Dame. Can you explain why?
I chose Notre Dame just because, or not just because, well, the way I was kind of patiently waiting it out, and it kind of just all signs just kind of pointed me towards Notre Dame, with it being Catholic, private, and then also in those like final stages, I honestly was really confused and conflicted, and it actually became like I was really overwhelmed at one point trying to choose because it would go back and forth daily. But then just reassurance with the coach just them kind of feeling like, they wanted me more. And I think it reminds me a lot of Cathedral. And I think for a second, I kind of took it for granted as like what Cathedral is special. And I think just going to Notre Dame just kind of goes beyond like more specialness and like having that relate a little bit more.
No, definitely. I get what you're saying. Sorry, Seth.
Like, I'd say I visited a lot of public schools, and I'm not saying public school is bad. I just think for me individually, I like the family feel, the connectedness, and the school spirit was unmatched.
So was having your brothers, Bo and Luke, both playing Division I football, does that put a little bit of pressure on you, or is it more encouraging?
Honestly, I don't feel any pressure from that whatsoever. I think it's more of like excited for them, excited for me. Obviously, we like to nudge each other and be like, we're the better athlete, but no pressure really, I don't think. I think they're really happy for me, and I'm really happy for them.
So what events did you run last year for track?
So I'm kind of unique. I kind of do like everything. That's actually kind of what I'm going to Notre Dame for. What I got like highly recruited for was the heptathlon, which is like long jump, high jump, shot put. You throw the javelin outdoor, the 800, the 200, and the 100-meter hurdles. So kind of all of that in the realm. But last year at state, I ran the 100-meter hurdles, the 300-meter hurdles, and the 4x4. So that's what they ended up using me for. But I think I could really go anything from an 100 to an 800.
Yeah, I remember hearing about what do you call it, triathlon?
Oh, pentathlon.
Pentathlon? I mean, yeah, pentathlon. I mean, the name of it just sounds scary, but how amazing that is. Can you explain to us a little bit what the recruiting process is like for track? With football, it's kind of all out there, but you were a little underneath, behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah, I definitely say there's a lot. So I ended up visiting a total of 11 schools, 6 unofficially and 5 officially. It starts out with some, so I have my marks from sophomore or freshman year really, and I'm really fortunate enough that I had a good mark my freshman year in the 300-meter hurdles, and then I did a couple 800s when COVID would stop, or when COVID kind of died down, not totally, but that was a good impressive time too, so that kind of just showed my versatility there. And then my junior year, coach and I kind of had a plan of like, where do you want to go to school? Where do you think you could run? And at that point, it was kind of all up in the air because I just had a couple marks. It wasn't really much. So I just emailed about 50, 20 schools, just like saying, hey, like, this is who I am. Here's some videos. This is what I can power clean. Like, I use lifts too because that kind of just shows, your strength a little bit. So then you kind of just end up talking to them if they're impressed, because like if they're reaching back out to you, that's a good sign. And so by my junior year, I knew had like a more in mind, because then they would want to have a conversation with you on the phone, and like I feel like that's where they kind of really get to know you. Like my first college that I ever talked on the phone was the Naval Academy, which is very funny because at that time I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to the Navy, but can't do that. But it's just crazy how it kept changing, and then as I got better, the schools that really wanted you could tell that they were more interested, and so I kind of zoned it all out. And then they ask you on a visit, and then I took so you only get 5 official visits, where they can like pay for you to go and like do all that, but I took 6 unofficial so I could find out which 5 I wanted to go, because it was really overwhelming. I didn't want to cross any of them out just because of like the stereotypes that I had of the schools. But I ended up choosing, you already said it, I ended up choosing like UCLA, Notre Dame, Boulder, North Carolina, and then I actually visited UCLA unofficially, didn't like it that much, and I changed it out for Virginia. So I ended up going to Virginia.
So it's really on the runner.
It is, yes. If you do the job for them, then, yeah, there's a lot of runners they need to, if they know you're interested, it's like, oh, she's good and she's interested in our school. Let's see what we can do with that.
Smart, yeah. I love how you said how you would send videos of you lifting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you two know you lift a lot of weight and scare a lot of people. I remember it's the worst when you're in APE and you have to lift next to Reese, and Coach Johnson's always coming up to you like, she's doing more weight than you, right? And it's like I'm trying. Like, she can probably lift more than most of us, but.
Was Notre Dame always at the top of the list for you?
No, it really wasn't. I don't know. I was kind of the bottom. Not the bottom, but I wasn't really, I don't know. It wasn't, though. I think just I slowly realized that it was needed to be at the top and that it was the top.
Do you know what you're majoring in?
I think I'm going to major in psychology, but I've been looking more into it, and I honestly thinking more of like film. There's like a design major, and it kind of has like everything you could think of for design, and there's like a film television type, and that's kind of like this, but like more. And like I think now there's a new minor for media, sports, and thus something like that. So, but I don't know, I feel like I need to use Notre Dame's name for maybe psychology. I don't know. I think that's all good, but
Any degree from Notre Dame is probably gonna.
Too, but I don't know if I want to because it's like, I don't know. It's kind of confusing with like why didn't she just go to a design school if she was gonna major in design? You know what I'm saying? But I was really thinking psychology.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I have no clue what I'm doing yet, and it's not like anything is ever set in stone. So you'll be able to figure that out as time goes along. So.
I mean, it's definitely just hard to decide what you're gonna do for the rest of your life.
You want to touch base a little bit on last year's track season? I know you guys had an unbelievable run, and the 5 of you being able to win state at school and not even having a full track. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, no, it was pretty amazing. I think going into it, so this was really special because last year around this year, but around this time this year, but a little less, maybe October, November, we had 5 girls in preseason, and those 5 girls ended up being the ones on the podium at the end of the whole thing. I just think I credited a lot after the state championship. I was in an interview with one of the media people, and I really do think, and I was thinking about this the other day too, I really think the team's chemistry, it was me, Milani, Kayla Pitts, Alexis, and Sid, and we were just best friends. We just had a group, and we were solid. And I think our team chemistry was really what got us through. Obviously our talent, but I think pushing each other every day and doing all of that was definitely a good reason for our winning.
So we actually, Huddy Miller sent in a question, and he said, do you think you could beat Michael Page in a 400?
Do I think no, I don't think I could. He's pretty good.
I don't know. I think I'd put my money on you.
For real. But yeah, Michael's a good runner though.
Yes, he is. I nudged him to. I know he really liked Notre Dame, and I was like, he could have probably ran at Notre Dame if he really got his name out there.
So I know it must have been awesome to win, but how did it feel to win with your sister?
It was great. It definitely so I won the individual 300-meter hurdles, and that's great. But then winning the team one, that was just so much better. It was just more special because it was doing it for a lot more people than just myself. And then it just showed Coach O'Hara, I have to give so much credit to him in that too, because he put so much work in, and I'm so glad that it was able to be seen by so many other people. But Sydney works so hard because she's iffy about track, and you'll tell her, if you ask her about track, she honestly does not like to run. And it was honestly a battle at the end of the season last year because it was she just wanted it to be over, and I don't know, she's very capable of a lot, and I think she needs to see that.
Yeah, like yesterday, we had not that hard of a workout, but it was like relatively hard. And I was dead, so I was just going to go home, but Sydney ran the 300.
Yeah. She got in a different like rep with the gold squad. Yeah.
Not a lot of people can say, though, that they've won with their sibling, where both siblings really contribute to the team.
Yeah.
And on the same relay.
Yeah, she started the relay and I ended the relay. So I think that's kind of cool.
So to wrap up the podcast, what are your expectations for the upcoming track season?
My expectations. My expectation this year, I really want to put my focus on the 300-meter hurdles. Last year I did a lot of, okay, let's do this, this, and this, get the records for that, and kind of just like play around with all these different types of things. Especially since I was going to be recruited for multi, I felt like I needed to do everything and like get a mark for everything so that coaches would see like, hey, she's good at everything, or yeah, I guess good at everything. Not specialty in everything, but so that I really want to focus on the 300-meter hurdles and just focus on that. And I want to be the best 300-meter hurdler coming out of Indiana ever. So that record is 41.35. I've got my best is like a 42.9, so I have a lot of work to do, but I think it can happen because I think with the marks that we're practicing with Coach O, he has it down like to the math, to the point, ... because it's very specific and he has that down. And that last year I was running those, but I never had like the perfect race condition to do it.
What else are you running?
The 100-meter hurdles as well. I would like to get a 13.9 or under 14 this year. Hopefully to win state in that too, because I was third. I was seeded 11th going in, but I had a really good race and some really good competition, so it really brought me up. And I think this year I have a really good chance.
Are you going to be running on the relay team again?
I think so, yes. Probably another 4x4. I think we have. So we lost Kayla last year. She was really, really good, really, really fast on the 4x4. So we still have me, Milani, and Sydney. And like we have a couple freshmen. We have a couple returners that could definitely take that spot. So we'll see what the 4x4 has and hold too.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. Thanks for joining the show, Reese.
Thanks for having me.
We all look forward to this track season. You guys can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at VFTH Podcast. Our episodes with Reese Horn and Kevin Bowen are now available for streaming, and we will see you next week. Thank you, Reese.
Thank you.